What is going on, everybody? Becca here with a brand new Blender video, and in this video we're gonna be continuing where we left off last time. Where in this video we're gonna be I'm gonna show you how I made this simple little like mm, light hanging from the ceiling, and it's not that difficult of a thing to model. Normally I would just like du duplicate it after like making it, but it, since I already made it, I'm just gonna make it again so I can show you how I actually did it. It's not that difficult. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and add in these trophies that we have, and if we have enough time, we'll start working on the stairs. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna open up the folder and bring up my scene. Okay, and this is the scene we're working with, and you can already see over here, move it closer. This is the actual scene that we're working with, and so I'm gonna bring up my shader panel, and I'm gonna click on that object so you can see the settings I did, and so I can actually see what I did because I can't even remember. Okay, looks like I made the roughness. All I really did is just made the roughness 0, and I made it completely black. And yeah, that's pretty easy to do. This one is a little bit more complicated because it's actually a sphere, and it has a couple of different nodes that we need to use for it. So first off, I got rid of the default shader, and then I added in a glass shader, glad BSDF, and I just left the default settings for that, and then I just put that into surface, and then I added a noise texture node, and I bumped it up to these settings, because by default it comes with like some really low settings. In fact, I'll go ahead and add in a noise texture so you can see what the default settings are, so you can see the difference. Yeah, and as you can see, it's a big difference that I did. Oh, you can actually see it. Let me actually. Oh wait, no, that's not the one I want. Let's bring this closer. Yeah, there you go. Now you can see it. Just like with my Python videos, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to make this more visible for you without having to resize everything. But yeah, and then after that, what I did is I added in a math node, and I set it to multiply, and then I set it to 0.1, and I put the color into value, and then value into displacement, and that created this. And you can see that it looks very much like real glass. And then after that, all I did is I duplicated this and put it in there, and I basically made sure that it's not touching the walls, because that's how it was before, and so I didn't want it to be touching the walls, so I made it like just like that. So let me go ahead and go back to there, and I'm gonna do a quick render so you can see what it looks like right now. And this actually isn't gonna be a quick render, because basically what I'm doing is that and anytime that I add light into it, after I do that for the render, I actually double my my samples, because how it is right now, because there's such low lighting, it looks a little grainy and like a little like crumble paper right now. So I'm doubling the sample so to try and counter that, counteract that. And so yeah, I'm gonna do a well, not a quick render. I'm gonna render this, and when we get, and I'm actually gonna do that off screen, because it will take a while to render. And so once it's done rendering, we will continue where we left off. Okay, and we're back, and here is the finished scene. And as you can see, well, you can actually see. Let me zoom in a little bit. Yeah, you can really see it here. Yeah, let's zoom in a little closer. You can see that it's like little, like, it's not really clear. And if we go over here, you can really see where the actual light and the increased samples really shines. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna be adding more lighting, and then we're gonna also increase the samples. So let's go back to stretch the screen. Okay, and so to make this, it's gonna be very simple. It's not that difficult to make. So first off, let me just get into position so I can see what I'm doing. And what we're gonna do is that we're gonna add a mesh, and we're gonna add a circle. Now, where is it? It's right there. And I'm gonna move it up so it's right in the same spot. And I'm gonna scale it down to the same size. Or at least try to get it to the same size. Okay, I think that's good. Doesn't have to be perfect, just good enough that, because we're going to be seeing it from a distance. Then what we're going to do is that we're going to edit. Now that we have that, let's move over here, and let's move it over. Okay, and I'm going to move it down because it doesn't need to be on the ceiling. This ceiling is actually temporary, and we're actually going to delete it eventually. And I'm going to move this more down so I could see what I'm doing. Okay, then we're going to tab to enter edit mode, and we're just going to click F so that we can fill that in. Okay, all right, and so now with the edge actually selected, we're gonna extrude it. And for this, we actually need it to be back up to here so we can see, because we want it to be about the same size. And let's move it back. Okay, let's move it into a position so we can see what we're doing. All right, and we're gonna extrude down so it's like about the same amount. Okay, let's go back to object mode, move it over a little bit. Then what we're gonna do, back to edit mode, we're gonna do a loop cut across the entire thing. Then with that new edge selected, we're just gonna scale it out. So like it's like right about there. And then we are gonna bevel. So Control B. Until it's like creates like that. Alright, and then enter object mode, and then shade smooth. Okay, and that part is done. Edit mode, and so now the last thing we need to do is just select this edge. I know there's a way you can select the entire loop, but I can't remember what the hotkey is off the top of my head, so I'm just gonna manually select everything. Probably a good idea to have that memorized, but it is what it is. Okay, almost done. And like that. Okay. All right, and so then we're just gonna extrude just a little bit, so, and then scale it in. So like right about, let me measure, let's see, using my little technique, which I really should have a better technique for doing this. Yeah, right about there. Yeah, I think that's good. And why do I have that on? Okay. All right, and so now we're gonna enter object mode and make sure you deselect, because if you add an object with an object already selected, it's gonna automatically join them together, and we do not want that. So what we're gonna do is that I'm actually just gonna go out here and see if I can just add it right here. That way it's easier to do it. Gonna add in a mesh. It's gonna be a UV sphere. Nope, that's it right there. And I'll just move it out right here so we can work with it better. And then tab, enter edit mode. And basically what we're gonna do is that we're gonna just cut the thing in half. So for this, we need this on. That's why that was on. Interface mode. Click that. Make sure, yeah, like that. And then select like that. And then delete faces. Okay, that's good. Object mode. Bring it back in. And now we need to scale it to the correct size. Now I have no way of knowing like how big it needs to be, so I'm just gonna do a random size and just work with it accordingly. That should be good. Now let me try and get into, I think I need to reset my dimensions, so I'm gonna press period. Now move it. I think this actually might be too small. Yeah, that's actually too small. So let's, this will be like right about there. And then this to be like right about there. And I'll move it over just a tad. There we go. And same thing before, shade smooth. All right. And now we can shade it. And it's gonna be very simple. So first off, move this up and click new material. And I'm actually gonna zoom in so you can see what we're doing. I need to find a better way to do this so you can see what I'm doing. But yeah, okay, so we're gonna choose the color and just make it black. And then the roughness we're gonna make completely 0. And that's gonna be our first material. And so let's go to the material panel and make this light base, I guess. And then we're gonna select this one, create a new material, delete that, go to add, glass, put that in, and I'm gonna actually zoom in a little bit so you can see the difference that it does. Put that into surface, and you can see it looks very like it doesn't look like this one yet. So we're gonna fix that. So as I showed before, noise texture. I believe this was 150. Let me go over to this one so I can see 5, 0.6, and 3. 5, 0.6, and 3. Yeah, okay. And then we're gonna add, what was it? Math. Then we're gonna add math. Make it multiply. And what was the value? 0.1. Make this 0.1. And you can play around with this if you want. Actually, I'm gonna move this over just a tad. There you go. Now, keep in mind, normally I would just duplicate this, and in fact, after I'm done with this, I'm actually gonna delete this and just duplicate it. And that way, it's exactly the same. But the reason I'm going through all this is so I can show you how I made this. And then we're gonna put the color into color. Make sure clamp is unchecked, and then we're gonna put value into displacement. And there we go. Perfect. And so as I said, I'm gonna delete this because I'm just gonna duplicate it, but I wanted to show you how I made this. Okay. And select these, make sure not to select the light yet. And with the area that I need it to be in, I'm gonna go around. And I'm actually gonna bring up my picture really quick so I can see where it actually needs to be. Oh, it looks like we have 2 of them. So 1 on each side. I thought it was only 1. Okay. Perfect. That's actually really simple. Okay, and I'm gonna do move so I'm in position. Then Shift D, click so it doesn't move. And let me move so it's in the correct area. It looks like it's in the correct area right now. And I'm gonna move it, let me move this down, and I'm gonna move it over just a tad. Okay. And then Shift D, click, and move it over. Okay, move the camera. just a tad. Yeah, like right about there. Okay, and as I said, I'm always gonna increase double for every light. I'm gonna double my I'm gonna double my sampling. And so I'm at 256 right now, so I'm actually gonna bring up the calculator for this. Because math and me do not get along. So 256, and I'm gonna double it times 2, and then I'm gonna double that, 1024. So this is gonna take a long time to render. And then I'm gonna use the same lighting, Shift D. No, not that. Oh, did I not duplicate it? I do not think I duplicated it. Shift D. There we go. I don't know why I didn't duplicate. Actually, I'll duplicate this one since this one is the correct size. Make sure that it's in the center. And I'm gonna zoom out just a tad on the camera. And I'll put this down because I don't need this anymore. Make sure it's completely in the center. This is the difficult part. Making sure it's completely in the center. And I'm actually gonna bring this down a little bit so I can actually see the light range. I'm not entirely sure what the square does for the actual area light, but that's how it works. You can actually change it if you want, but I'm not even sure what that actual square does. I think it's like a range, but I'm not even sure. And I do not want it to go beyond that, because that will cause problems. So let me make sure that side's good. Yeah. Okay. And as I said before, this is gonna take a long time to render. So before we render it, let's go ahead and add in the actual. Hold on. Let's go ahead and add in the actual. I'm just trying to get this a good size. I'll just set it back. let's go ahead and add in the actual trophies. So file, import. Let me actually bring up what the actual file is. These are the stairs we're gonna use, and the trophies are, let's see, where are they? I know I have them here somewhere. Do I still have them in the folder, maybe? Because I don't even know where I put them. Acorn grass. I know I didn't delete them. Fence. Where are they? I know I didn't delete them. Did I actually accidentally delete them? I don't know. I hope I didn't accidentally delete them. Oh, here we go. So that's the pillar. Where are they? I'm positive I didn't delete them. So they have to be here somewhere. I'm gonna look for them really quick. Maybe they're still on my desktop. That is the mess that my desktop is. I had no idea where I put them. Because I did clean up my desktop recently. Did I accidentally delete them? Let me see. Here, let me go over here. So it looks like I do not know where I actually put them. So I'm gonna have to search around for them. So I'll be right back. Okay, and we're back, and it turns out what happened is that I never actually downloaded it. That's why I couldn't find it. So let's see what's in here. Models. We have trophy pack. .ma, an MTL file, and another pack. Okay. So let's go ahead and import the OBJ. You can import FBX if you want to, but I just prefer using OBJ because I've never had any problems with OBJ. That's just the file format that I prefer using when I'm importing models. And there's probably going to be a lot of stuff to choose from this. Because I believe it said there are 29 trophies to choose from in this. And all free. Which I do enjoy using. Oh yeah. That is a lot. That is a lot to choose from. Okay, so let's move this over here. And it looks like these are all merged. So this will be a little bit difficult. So let's see, which ones do we want to use? I want to use this one. So let's go into edit mode, which will take some time. So let's go ahead and luckily these trophies are separated enough that I can just select them and separate it. I'll have to do a lasso, but I'll have to do it again because I forgot to select that. Okay, and we're gonna do P by separate by selection. Okay. Object mode. And basically, we're gonna do this for every trophy that we like. And so I'll move this over. And it looks like I will have to shade this, which is perfectly fine. And of course, we need to scale this down because there's no way we can fit this in this trophy case at this size. Okay, move this up. Move this forward so it's in view. We may have to, yeah, we'll have to scale this down even further. Oh, damn it. Scale this down. Even smaller. And I'm gonna take off this. I'm gonna go into plain select. There we go. So I can see what I'm doing. Yeah, that's still too big. So let me go back to material mode. The problem is that it's hard to see what I'm doing because of the glass material on this thing. Yeah, it needs to be smaller. Scale a little bit smaller. There we go. And now it's inside. Move this over. I think like right about there. Let's move this up. Okay, it's in the trophy case now. Okay, and for the rest of them, I'm actually gonna do that off screen. But let's go ahead and render this, and of course I am gonna render this off screen because we are at 1,000 samples and we are at, let's see, 1,300,000 polys. So this is gonna be very big. It take a while to render. So I am obviously gonna do that off screen. So I will be right back. Okay, and we're back, and it is finally finished rendering, and it took 51 minutes to render. So yeah, that's so it did take a while to render, but as you can see, it looks a lot better than it was looking. You can see some like graininess if you zoom in, but it's not as bad as it was before. Like, for example, the ceiling doesn't look like it's like crunched paper anymore. It actually looks like an actual picture now. So I think we're actually gonna not increase the samples anymore, because as we add more lighting, it's just gonna look better and better. But this looks pretty good. So yeah. And so you can actually see that we also have the trophy that's in the trophy case. I had to move it over a little bit, but it also came out pretty good. I am gonna have to add a glass shader to it because right now it looks way too solid. So yeah, I'm gonna add like a glass shader to it to make it look like, make it look like a like an actual trophy. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, and the last thing that I did is that I noticed that the actual trophy pack was still enabled, so I disabled it, and that brought down the actual polygon count down to 355,000. So that helped a lot. And another thing I did is I also deleted the lights that I had, and I just duplicated this, all of this. Let me just select them. Yeah, I just duplicated that because it's the same light. So I figured I might as well just reuse this, and I changed the actual proportions of the light so it's a perfect square. So I used these proportions to 27.7 m, and I just left the default bounces. And actually, I will actually do the same thing to here, but I will have to move this, but I am not going to render it again, so I will do that next time. So yeah, that's going to do it for this video. This was a long video and multiple parts, so yeah, this has been Mega, and I will see you again next time.